Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I hope you're having a splendid day. My name is Maz. Today's video is the fourth episode in a new car preparation series I'm doing. So I got myself a brand new Audi A3 which will serve as my daily during winter, and the Mustang will be staying in the garage. So in this fourth episode we will be doing some paint correction and polishing to the paint. You might wonder, is that really required or necessary on a brand new car? And the short answer is yes. I'll show you later what I mean. But with that said, then in the first episode we talked about some of the steps I will be performing and some of the products I will be using. In the second episode we thoroughly cleaned the wheels and the paint. And in the third episode, we did a chemical and mechanical decontamination of the paint in order to have it as clean as possible then. In this video, and the purpose of today is not to get 100% perfect paint, because I don't want to spend that time. And I don't think I even have the equipment to get it 100% perfect. Again, then this is going to be my daily during winter, so we don't need to have a show ready paint. But we will see how much we can do with the time given, and if we are somewhere around 85-90% finish, then I'm perfectly satisfied. And also, this is a white car. You really need to inspect it closely in order to see if there are any imperfections. But it depends on how much OCD you have, and also, I mean, if you're a pro detailer, you would then want to have it as perfect as possible, depending on how much the customer is then paying. But that's a different topic. Before we continue today's video, I have a quick unboxing to do. A hint, so this is a new machine which we'll be using later in the video. So with that said, then let's get this bad boy unboxed and see what we got inside. Before we continue with any polishing, I will go over the car with masking tape. So I will be masking off the trim details. So we have some chrome details, we have plastic details, we have the headlights, etc. So I will mask those off in case we are a little bit sloppy, or if we get over those areas with polishing pads then, so we don't have to spend time removing anything from the plastic details, etc. So the first step will be to mask the car then. Alright, we are finally done with masking the trim details, the grille, headlights. I've done some on the front bumper. We have done the side view mirrors, these trimmings here, the trimmings around the windows, rear lights. I've even put a strip on the glass on the deck lid or trunk lid or whatever it's called. The badging has been covered up, etc. The reflexes here as well. What is then left to do is to go over the paint and see what type of swirl marks, etc. we have. I cannot barely see it with my eyes in this light, so we need to turn off the lights and use a flashlight. And I will show you what I meant earlier with regards to this being a new car, but it still needs some work done in order at least to have somewhat swirl-free, scratch-free paint. So let's turn off the lights and see what we got. I don't know if this comes through in the video. However, as you can hopefully see, there are swirl marks and some light scratches, and this is the hood we are looking at. And I have gone over the whole vehicle, and we have a lot of this all over the place. I hope this comes through. So these are some of the black trimmings around the rear and front passenger doors, and as you can see, there is quite a lot of swirl marks already, even though this is a brand new car then. Even though the paint had swirl marks and some of the trimmings had swirl marks, I think we are in a pretty good shape. I don't think we would need to use the microfiber cutting discs, nor do we need to use the heavy cut compound from Menzerna. I think we will start off with the yellow foam pads from Rube. So these are for fine polishing, and together with Meguiar's 210. So this will be the first time I'm using this product, so I'm really excited to see the results and how it is to use and buff off and how to apply, etc. So we will get to that. Usually when you want to polish your car, you want to start off with the least aggressive combination between polishing compound, etc. and your pads, and then you would want to go more aggressive if need be. And also you can try different combinations. You could, let's say, I'm just making this up, you could use the 210 to get together with a microfiber cutting disc to get the results you want or need. But in this case, again, then I think the fine polishing foam pads together with Meguiar's 210 will be sufficient. If not, then we will see if we need to do some other combination which will work on this paint. Before we start any polishing, we want to prime the pad, and that is to make the active surface wet and also making sure that the pad is working at its highest efficiency. So this you would do either having a foam pad or a microfiber pad then. So I will simply add the product to the face of the pad and work it into the pores. You only need enough product to cover the surface then, so you don't have to overdo it while doing this. And I will use my fingers to work the product in. You can use tools. There are some tools also which can be used to prime the pad, but I think it works great just using my fingers. But just remember then to have some sort of a glove. Once you have primed the pad and are ready to start the polishing, then we will need to apply some more product. There are different recommendations on how much you need on a primed pad, but I will be using pea-sized drops. When you first start out, you want to potentially use some more product, but as you go along and the pad gets broken in, you can reduce the amount of product needed. Too little of the product, you will not get enough lubricity, which means you will get more friction. However, too much product, you can actually over lubricate and you will lose the ability to abrade the paint then. So you need to test it out, what works with the product you have and the type of paint you have, etc. One thing that is also important to mention while you are polishing your car, and that is to actually clean your pads, because you get built up from your product and also then paint actually then building up on your pads then. So if you have a car with clear coat, you will of course not see the paint as such because it's clear coat and you will just see the product. However, if you have a car without clear coat and you're polishing it, you might see that there is some paint transferring over to your pad, and that needs to be cleaned off often before you then continue to the next panel or next section, so to speak. I use compressed air to clean my pad. However, there are pad washes and there are brushes, etc., which you can use. Woo! That was that, ladies and gentlemen. We have gone over all the panels and all the parts with the polishing machine, and in my personal opinion, it is not that fun to do this on a car with a white paint, because the work you put in, you don't see the results that much as you would do, let's say, on a black car. But that's how it is, and we have done whatever we can do to prep the paint in order to have it not show car ready, but 85-90% good. So the next step is then to unmask all the masking we have on the car, and then go over the panels with this product, which is CarPro's eraser. This product is really good. It removes any residue that might be left from the polishing steps, and also any oil or any fats, etc. that might be on the paint, let's say from your fingers. So we will do those steps, and that will be the last things we do in today's episode then. So let's get on with that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are reaching the ending of episode 4, and in this episode we have masked some of the details which we didn't want to have any polish or compound on. We have then gone over the panels and some of the details with the dual action polishers, and polished the paint. And then we did unmask the details again and went over all of the panels and details with the eraser to ensure that we don't have any residue from polishing or any oils and fats. As I also mentioned earlier in the video, was that we are not seeking 100% perfection. However, I think with the result that we have got now, I'm totally satisfied with it. So we are ready for episode number 5, which is then to apply the Geon ceramic coating, and that will be coming in the next episode then. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment sections below. Give me 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down, subscribe, and until the next time.